Hello, my name is David Broussard. Welcome to the Office 365 Bootcamp. In this episode, we're going to talk about Skype for Business and how we use it to make ourselves more productive around the office. You know, a lot of times we're working with other people inside of our company, and we get files sent to us, we get emails sent to us, we talk with people on the telephone, we send text messages. Communications is integral to the success of any organization. So as an example here, I'm going to go ahead and open up my email here. I've been presenting all day long and I haven't checked in a while, and I've gotten this email from a coworker of mine named John. John has sent me here a document for review. It's a PowerPoint presentation, and he says, can I provide feedback on this document before today's meeting? Well, I'll go ahead and open this document up so I can take a look at it, and I'll go ahead and size this down so everybody can see it properly. There we go, and so I don't want to make it so that nobody can see it. So there's this nice document, and I can go ahead and start taking a look through this. Well, let's say I go ahead and look through this entire document, and I find out all kinds of things that I want to talk to John about, and I have some questions about this meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and respond back to John. Now, normally, right, I would just go ahead and hit reply, right? Because John sent me an email, and I would tend to reply the same way somebody communicated with us. Well, I wonder why John sent me an email in the first place. It's probably because I've been presenting all day long and I'm set to Do Not Disturb in Skype. And you can see that by the little red square with a line through it next to my name. Next to John's name, I have a green line. That green line tells me that he is currently available. So instead of me actually sending an email back to him to ask him a couple of questions, instead of doing that, what I'm going to do instead is I'm actually going to respond to him via an IM. So what I'll do over here is I've got this button over here that says I can reply with IM. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and what it's going to do is going to open up a Skype for Business session with me, and I'm going to say, hey John, you there? And I'll hit enter. Now what's going to happen on his end is John's going to get an IM message that says, hey, are you there? And amazingly, he actually is green. He can see this, and you'll see he's actually typing a message back to me. Say, can we chat about that PowerPoint you sent me? And I'll go ahead and send that over to him, and he'll respond back to me. And so you can see it's actually very easy. We can still do it kind of asynchronously. He says, sure. Can I add audio? Because instead of me typing all of this, because it's going to take me a little while, I'd much rather go ahead and just give him a phone call. So I said, can I add audio? I see he's green. He says, yeah, go right ahead. So I'm going to take my headset, and I'm going to go ahead and untangle myself from all of the wires I have down here. This is why you should have a wireless headset, right? And once I get this on, I'm going to go ahead and go down here and click on call him as a Skype call. And you're going to see it's going to go ahead, and I've got a ringing in my ear right now, so I can't hear him. And now actually I can go ahead and hear John on the other end of the line. And you can see it says that we're go ahead and connected. And I can go ahead and start asking him questions about this particular PowerPoint presentation. And I can say, you know, I like what I'm seeing. I've got some questions. Can we do something about this? And he says, yeah, sure, let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I want to present this to him, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and present this using Skype for Business. So I'll go ahead and say that it says, do I want to present this slideshow in a meeting? And I'm currently in this conversation right here. So I'll go ahead and say, okay. And it's going to go ahead and load this PowerPoint presentation into this particular session. Now, when it does this, it's going to go ahead and put a copy up out there, and John could actually download that copy if he really wanted to. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so it can see what it looks like. And there's the slide deck over here, and you can see I can click my way through this slide deck. Now what's nice about this is while I'm sitting here talking with John, okay, I can actually go over and say, you know what, let's annotate this. You know, I don't like this right here. Let's go ahead and instead of making this, this needs to be changed to be something different, okay? And you know, in addition to that, I really do like, you know, this graphic over here. I'm okay with the graphic. You can see that I've actually got a laser pointer that I can use that John can see on the other side, because one of the problems we always have when we're presenting PowerPoint, right, is we usually are trying to call attention to different sections. So I can go ahead and use that laser pointer. I can work my way through here, and I can say, you know what, I want to, instead of that, I can say, you know, let's kill this particular point, and let's kill this particular point if I want to. I can actually type in regular text if I want to. So in addition to going ahead and just drawing these regular annotations on here, I can actually go ahead and grab a regular pen and pick different colors. I'll go ahead and pick red, and I can say, you know, the simplicity, consistency, automate routine tasks, I like those things. What's powerful about this is John also can annotate these things, okay? And we can even save this particular slide deck back out with these annotations if we want to. So instead of me just showing this to John or me presenting my desktop and talking about it, we can actually go ahead and work on this together, and we can annotate the slide deck and move through it from that standpoint. So that's one of the features we can have. Now, if I want to, I can also go out and present my desktop, or I can present a particular program on my desktop. This can enable me to actually show people things that I'm working on, whether it be a Word document or it could be another system that I'm working at. You can use it for tech support. In addition to that, I've got a few other things that are out there. For example, I've got this whiteboard. A whiteboard's actually pretty neat. The whiteboard is similar to the annotations. I actually have the ability to go out here and type in text. Here is some text, okay? I had caps lock on, okay? And John's able to see this. Anybody else in the meeting is able to see this text as well. John could actually go out here and start annotating this as well. If he wants to go out and grab, you know, a pen and start writing, you know, lines in maybe this particular pattern, he could actually go out and start annotating on this as well and start making things. Oh, look at that. He put an X down. I'll put my O down, right? Now, tic-tac-toe, that's kind of silly, but what I have used this for is to actually do annotations, actually architecture diagrams with customers while I'm on the phone with them. It's not the greatest thing in this case because I'm using my mouse, but you know, my new laptop is going to have a pen and a touch screen, and I'm going to be able to go ahead and write right on the screen and put things out there. In addition, I can actually go out and grab pictures if I really want to, and so I could go ahead and grab, for example, this PNG and load it up on here, and there's a beautiful picture that I've got out here on this. I can also go out and undo things, and when I'm all done, I can send this to OneNote. So I can go ahead and take this, and I want to send it out here to this OneNote that I have, and you can see it took everything that we typed in this printout and stuck it into this OneNote notebook for me out here on that I can save. So all this work I've done, we haven't lost it. We've simply been able to save it someplace else. Another thing we can do out here is we can actually go out and create a poll. So I can go have this poll, and I'm going to call this, "Where do we go for lunch?" And what lunch do we want? And I can do that down here and say things like McDonald's, Chili's, Chester's, Chewy's, and create that poll. And what it's going to do is it's going to go out and actually display this poll, and everyone who's a member of this can go out there and say, hey, I want to vote for this particular option. And hey, see, somebody else in the meeting, that'd be John, voted for Chili's, and I voted for Chewy's. And this poll can stay open for a period of time. We can use this to get feedback from other members inside the group. Now, this is often used when you're doing webinars, but it also can be useful inside of a group when you need to come to a decision and you're talking about something. The last thing I can show you guys inside of here is this thing where I can actually do Q&A if I want to. And this is where if I'm doing a training class, for example, I can actually ask a question. Okay, someone can ask a question, and then we can go ahead and have conversations about that question. Still, while we've got these kind of things on, if I go back to, for example, my presentation right here, right, that I was showing earlier, while we've got this presentation open, I'm still talking to John on my headset right now. I can also go over here and we can actually have IM conversations as well. So all of these things, whoop, there we go, close. You can see that I can actually go over here and have conversations as well. So I can talk on IM, we can present PowerPoint presentations, we can go ahead and share files with each other, we can make phone calls, and with certain versions of Skype, that we can actually have actual PTSN conferencing, which means that when I go and set up a meeting, people are going to have a phone number that they can dial into and a number that they can get into the meeting, just like you with most conferencing groups. And also with the highest level of Skype for Business, you actually get PBX replacement. In PBX replacement, you're actually able to go out there and instead of having having to have a specific phone and phone numbers, Skype has your PBX out in the cloud, and you can still have local phone numbers. When somebody calls that local phone number, it would ring to your machine, and of course also, there's a Skype for Business app on your iPhone as well, which can enable you to go out and get your phone calls to come in on your app. You can IM from here, you can even watch screen shares from here, and you can do video conferencing right from your phone as well. So that's a little bit about what Skype for Business can do for you, and that's all for now.